To the third component of our differentiated learning instructional component, where we are using Google Forms to create an assessment, a really quick 5-question assessment to use as a means of meeting the various learning needs of or academic needs of our students within our classes. It's differentiated by the fact that if they miss an answer, it's going to move them to a video, or in the end of the assessment, move them to a challenge. For part 1, we created a shell. We created 12 sections, and you were to go back in and type in your questions and your learning-centric prompt, which will be the last part of our assessment. For part 2, you did go-to section, where you were going in and having your questions lead the students to a different section. If they were correct, they went on to, in this case, they're going to section 3, which is a new question, and if they're incorrect, they're going to a review. So this final instructional component is going to have you move your students through to a video. There will be a video that's a review for each of the questions missed, and then there will be one video that moves those students who have had no problem with answering the questions on the assessment. They're going to move them to a challenge. One thing I want to note is that because we're doing this as an assessment, we want to have the students only answer this once. So if you will look in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see this is customizing. That's how I came up with that. You can click on that and it chooses, you can choose colors, or you can choose different theme options and so forth. You can go here and get a preview. And close out my preview. Or you can go here, which is settings, which is what I want you to do. And I want you to do requires them to sign in and limits them to one response. They have to sign into Google in order to access this. They have to they'll only be allowed to get one response. Now they can edit after they submit. I say no on that one. It just depends on the type of assessment, but for the ones that we're doing, for our purposes, no. That's up to you on the summary and the charts. Presentation, you can show as they're progressing. This is a 5-question quiz, so I probably wouldn't do that. I normally never do that, shuffle the order, because sometimes that will mess up when you're trying to do your differentiated learning component and you have your structure set up for where they're going and so forth. I just don't do that one. Make this a quiz. It is a quiz. I usually do later, after I manually look over it, is to when I want to release how they did on it. But they can see if they missed something, they can see a correct question, and they can see point values. I normally allow that. But again, for our purposes, what we're wanting right here specifically is you want to limit to one response and save. So I clicked here, limit to one response, save. Okay, so now let's go and add in our videos. Let me close this out. So your first video is in section 2. So what we want to do is click on that box and then go over to the right when our menu opens up for us, and I want you to click on Add Video. Again, it looks kind of like YouTube there. And it takes you to YouTube. I've tried to insert just straight from Khan Academy, the URL from Khan Academy, and didn't have a lot of success with it. So what I found will work is this. Let's go back. We're doing division of fractions, and I'm going to type in Khan Academy. Division using fractions. And I normally add my grade levels that I'm after. Okay. Now, you see all of these choices that are coming up here. Now, this is just a note. You need to have previewed your video before you put it in. You don't want to put a video in there that's misleading. It goes against what you've done in your classroom and your instruction. You want it. This is a supplement. This is not a replacement for you. It is a supplement for instruction you've already done. Okay, so make sure you've looked at it. I have looked at these, and I know that this is the one that I'm wanting to do. You'll see that if your students are struggling, you can also do the 5th grade level one here. Also understanding fractions, but I'm going to go with this top one. Again, I have previewed it. I click on it one time. When I click on it one time, a blue box comes around it. You see if I click here, same thing. But this is the video I'm wanting. And then I'm going to go down to the lower right hand corner and select. And you see that my video is there. I normally just simply type in Khan Academy video. You can type in what you want. All right, next thing that I would like for you to look at is just underneath section 2. It says after section 2, go to 3. I normally tell it, I think yours may actually, let me correct that. Yours says go to next section actually. I'd already changed mine. So under your section 2, yours says after section 2, continue to next. I don't like for it to just do this as an automatic. I like to tell it where I want it to go, just to make sure that if I change things around, I'm still going to multiplying fractions. So under your section 2, after you've included your video, after section 2, go to section 3. Okay, so let's do this again. Let's go down and let's go to the next, which is multiplying fractions review. I'm going to click here. I'm going to add video. And Khan Academy is still there. I'm just going to do multiplying. Fractions, 6th grade. And choose my video, multiplying 2 fractions. You see the choices that come up again. You need to preview. I'm going to choose this one. It's now highlighted in blue. I choose select. And I make sure that I am going to section 5 from here. And again, yours at this point says continue to next section. You want to click on that arrow and tell it to go to equivalent. Okay. So you want to do this for each of your sections, including a video that corresponds, and then tell it to go to the next section. There's only one place where I would like for you to change that, and that's here. When you do your review, this is section 10, this should be the last review video that you do. Right now it says go to next section. Because your students who've missed, let's say they missed every single one of these, so they've missed a question, they've had to do a review, they've missed a question, they've had to do a review. At this point, you do not want to overwhelm them. You don't want them to go to section 12, or section 11, which is the challenge. You want to have them skip that and go to 12. So you have to make sure on section 10 that you click on this arrow and you tell it to go to the group prompt, which is section 12. Okay? You do not want them to have to do this. All right? Now, so what we've done, just to recap again, we have created the shell of our Google Form assessment. We did 5 questions and following with QQ, a quick quiz. We went in and we used the go to section based on answer component in Google Forms in order to differentiate our learning. If a student missed the question, then they go to review. If they got it right, they progress to the next question. And then today, we went in and we added those review videos. And then again, for me, for turning this in, for you to get full credit for this learning component, you will want to add a review for each of the 5 questions and then one that will be a challenge. So 1 challenge video and 5 review videos. And then finally ending with your group prompt. Now, to share this with me, just as a quick reminder, you want to go to the word in the upper right hand corner, the word send. You want to click on the link, shorten URL, copy, and then share that with me. What I normally do is preview and make sure that it looks like I want it to look. So over here to the left of the send, you see 3 buttons. This allows you to customize your theme, do colors, background. That's where I came up with that little design there. You can do preview and settings. We've already done where we kind of worked at that. Let's go back over that. Limit to the 1. and I want to preview. So here's my preview. You see that it requires your email address, so you want to type in an email address when you go to preview this, and then choose your correct answer. Let's choose the correct answer. In this case, it is 2, and I'm going to hit next, and it immediately took me to a question. So let's go ahead and let's answer this one incorrectly, and it took me to the video, and there's my video, and it is active. Okay, so what I want you to do at this point is, after you've looked over your assessment, you've added all your videos, you looked at the rubric that you were provided as part of the instructional unit. I want you to share this with me one final time, and then I'll give you some feedback on it. But again, I hope you've enjoyed the lesson. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to contact me or email me. If you want to have the technology coach come in and walk you through with this particular component, they have said that they are more than happy to come in and co-teach with you, to walk you through. And if you have any questions whatsoever, just contact me, or you can also contact the technology coach, and either one of us will come over and help you set this up and get it going with your classes. Thanks.